I would think everyone else would message me, oh, great game, Lorenzo. My father would call me, terrible game, Lorenzo, terrible game. But no, yeah, I did feel like at times I was like, oh, man, maybe it's time to stop playing volleyball. Maybe I need to change my sport, or maybe I need to change my position.
How could you describe the level of like Australian league?
It's nothing like Poland.
I suppose, to be honest.
We were talking about this. After the last ball, we thought we won the final. We thought, we thought, man, we won the championship. But.
Hello, Lorenzo. Big thanks for joining my podcast. It's a great pleasure to host you. And it's a great pleasure to see you for another year in Poland.
No, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me. Enjoyed Poland so far, especially the Zurek is very good here in Poland.
And what about, like we talked before interview, what about weather? You are not used to Polish weather.
You can see me. I'm in a jumper right now in the home. It's a bit cold for me compared to Australia. It's a big weather temperature drop, but it's all right. I try to adjust to it, but yeah, not too bad.
When I was preparing for interview, one question that comes to my mind is, who really is Lorenzo Pope, and where are he from? Because you were born in New Zealand, outside Auckland. Yes, you have Samoa roots.
Yes.
And you also grew up in Melbourne. So
yes.
Lorenzo really is?
It's a bit crazy. My journey's been a bit crazy with volleyball, but also with my lifestyle overseas. But yeah, I'm originally I was born in South Auckland of New Zealand, and luckily enough, my family and I decided that we would like to move to Melbourne, Australia. So we chose the city that was similar to Auckland, New Zealand, where I'm originally from, especially weather-wise. Sometimes it's a bit cold, but it's a perfect temperature. But yes, both my parents they were originally born in Samoa. I'm not sure if anyone's familiar with this little island, but it's right below Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, my family moved over to New Zealand, and then when they had me, they moved over to Melbourne, Australia.
And is it true that your parents they were volleyball players?
Yes, it's true. My father did play in Samoa So when he was younger, he was playing in Samoa. Then I was born in New Zealand, and I was fortunate enough to play alongside my father as well growing up. But both my parents play a little bit of volleyball, but yeah. But I guess you can call us a family, a volleyball family at least.
Yeah, because when I saw on social media, your parents are very supportive. I saw tons of photos of you, just your photos from the games, and when the words of love, of supporting you. So I suppose growing up in a volleyball family with parents like this, you were destined to play volleyball.
Yes, some people would say I was destined to play volleyball, but it's the good thing about having Pacific Island parents. They are your number one fans. They love to post me and stuff like this. But it's a bit more special for my family because I have no brothers or sisters because I'm an only child. So I guess whatever accomplishment we get to, or I achieve, or whatever our family achieves, we love to support one another.
And how is possible to grow up as a volleyball player, grew up playing volleyball in Australia? I had a chance in past to speak with Luke Perry or Luke Reynolds, and both they told me one thing, that in kids' age or teenage years, many teenagers trying to volleyball, but when it comes to the senior level, adult level, they stop completely or switch to more popular disciplines.
Yeah. It's more of a common thing in Australia, I think. But mostly, I think I can speak from my experience as a teenager, because my dream was to always play volleyball since young. Originally I'm from New Zealand, everyone wants to be a rugby player. I don't think Poland is familiar with the sport, but they want to be a rugby player. But in my culture, a lot of people grow a bit big, so they play rugby. But fortunately for me, I grew tall, and I saw the passion and love my family had for the sport of volleyball, and yeah, I sort of dictated at a young age that I wanted to be like a professional volleyball, or I wanted to play at the highest level. So as for other teenagers in Australia, it seems like it's more of a hobby, I guess. I think it's because they don't have much of the support or the financial support from Volleyball Australia, as it's not a common sport that's played in Australia. But yeah, it's making their way there, but slowly but surely.
But yeah, for me, it's like surprising. I remember one quote from interview with Luke Perry. Luke said that when he was growing up, he didn't know that it's possible to be Australian and live from volleyball.
No, yeah, I agree with Luke on this, because I guess you could say, as you're growing up in Australia, everyone sees, like the lifestyles. It's a bit different to Europe. So it's a bit of a culture shock for us at least, but also a sports shock, trying to make a living, not knowing what opportunities are there. For example, here in Poland, but yeah, I agree with Luke on this 110%.
And when was the first time you realized that, you can live from volleyball?
Oh, man, you're giving me tricky questions. No, I would say maybe after my first contract, I think I would say. It's for me, I've never seen I never thought volleyball could be a living for me or my family. I thought it would be something that I could accomplish as a goal, whether it was financially stable for us or not. But yeah, it's always been a dream. But I would say maybe a bit later in my career, maybe 21, 20. So maybe my debut for Australia would probably be the date that I knew at that time.
And how could you describe the level of Australian league?
It's nothing like Poland.
I suppose, to be honest.
So you guys can have that, but no, the league is developing as the years go by. But I also see that every time I go home during the off season, or when I do get the time to watch a bit of volleyball back home, I see that the sport is developing in years. But it's got a long way to go within how would you say, the level. Because if we were to look at the experience and everything, Poland have a very good program, I would say, from young towards building up younger kids to becoming athletes. So yeah, I would say it's developing, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
So when Australian kids nowadays, they growing up, they going for rugby or Australian football, basketball?
Yeah, I would say for the it's a bit difficult because it depends on in certain cities there's sports that vary that they push, but they also, a lot of kids say for Sydney, Australia, I'm sure you're familiar with Sydney, Australia.
Yes, sure.
Yes, so in Sydney, Australia, there's a lot of rugby teams. So there's a lot of selections, and so I would say maybe Sydney is a rugby sort of category, I guess. But for Melbourne is a bit difficult because sometimes the weather's up and down, so you don't know whether you want to be a rugby player or you want to play basketball. But yeah, I would say maybe Australia, the first sport that people would probably choose is probably rugby or AFL. I'm not sure if you're familiar with AFL, but also cricket. I don't know I'm not sure. Cricket, and yeah, there's volleyball is slowly making their way up there, but yeah, I would say football and basketball definitely take the cup over there. Obviously, kids want to see Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi. They think, they can do it also. So there's different pathways for different sports and different kids. So yeah.
And we were talking about that. You growing up, you also didn't believe that you can live from volleyball. And I was wondering, when you look up, you have a chance to play in Italy, you have a chance to play in Poland. If you had possibility to change something in Australian volleyball system, to bring something from Europe, what would you bring?
I would say I would start from the junior programs that I see that you guys have here. It's one thing I've noticed within the age groups within Europe. but also especially Poland, because I see that the sport is developing a lot here in Poland, and there are a lot of junior teams that I see starting from, I don't know what age group it starts in Poland, but I would take this program or this type of plan that the Polish Federation have like instilled in the coaches and everything, and I would help, develop young children throughout the years that, I don't know, maybe they want to start from 8 years old or, primary school or even maybe kindergarten if they'd like to play, But I think I would take this away from the Polish Federation, because they've done an amazing job with developing young kids that are developing into becoming players in the PlusLiga, I guess.
Do you remember your first days in national team? Your first call-up to national team?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do remember. It was a very emotional moment for me, at least, but also for my family. But yes, I do remember like it was yesterday. Yes.
And how was to play? Because you came to the team with guys like Luke Perry. I think it was Arash was.
Yes,
I think Thomas Edgar also. Lincoln Williams.
Yes, I was watching at the time. I was coming through the system. I did cross paths with Thomas Edgar and Lincoln Williams. These big guys. Also Arash. I was lucky enough to play with Arash and Luke, but unfortunately, I wish I could play with. But also, there's a few other older guys that have taken a different pathway away from the Australian national team. But maybe one day I will play with them. Hopefully, I pray and hope.
I remember the first time I think most of the world hear about you, VNL 2022.
Yeah.
It was amazing tournament. We're talking about the individual performance, because as a team, you got relegated from VNL. Yes. But what was the secret? You came from out of nowhere, from Australia, come out of nowhere, and starting fighting with all the best players in the world. He's one of them, and that was I think maybe I'm wrong, but for me it was your breakthrough moment, breakout moment. Yeah. And how you remember this tournament, and what was the secret of your great form?
For me it was, well, to be honest with you, I was very nervous. I might look like confident on the court, but deep down inside I'm very nervous. Especially playing against the best players against the world, for one of my favorite players were Bartosz Kurek. And man, when I seen this guy, man, I was jumping up and down, I was like, oh my God, this is him, But there was a lot. I had a lot of nerves, and I was a little bit praying before the game, trying to be like, God, please, if you help me survive, I will continue to play this sport that I love so much. But no, the way I dealt with it, to be honest, was I had to remember my purpose on the court. Whether if I was playing, I wasn't just playing for my teammates on the court, but I was also playing for the Australians that are supporting from home, but more importantly, my family that have been there with me from day one. So I think a bit of that helped me play against players like Bruno. You also, there's a lot of guys that I played that first year that I can't name all, but it was a very special moment for me. But also to be alongside Luke Perry, a person you're familiar with, but also Arash as well. They helped me a lot on that court, but also the staff of Australia. I just had to take the opportunity, if I was to be honest. There was no point of me going if I wasn't going to play,
Yeah, but for me it was you're talking about that you were nervous, and I remember watching you you didn't seem like the guy who is nervous, and you played against the best players in the world. So I'm wondering what was your first impressions about the level of the really top players in the world, because you played against most of the best players.
The best players. To be honest, my first impression of the game was it was so fast, so fast, completely a dramatic change from what I'm completely used to coming from Australia. But the tempo of this game was so fast. I could not be able. Sometimes the ball was going a bit fast, or the serve was coming towards me a bit fast. There was my first impression was like, I need to be faster than this guy, you know. So, but at the same time, I was nervous. But you probably think I wasn't, but I can tell you, I was very nervous this day. My teammates could see it also, but you know, it's good. It was good times when I look back at it, but it's helped me a lot, you know.
And yeah, who helped you to not who tried to calm you a little bit when it comes to the players? Who was like your mentor or the guy that really helped you during that time?
Yeah, within the teammates, I would say it was probably mostly Luke Perry, but also Arash. Because obviously I came up in the system watching these boys that I admired and I idolized as a kid. It was very humbling for me to look over my shoulder and see Luke Perry and Arash saying like, it's okay, you just have to take it step by step or point by point. But off the court, it was my father. My father would call me after the game. He would say, "What are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? You're on the world stage. Like, you can't be doing this. You can't be doing that." And yeah, the guys on the court helped me to calm my nerves. But my father, when I came up, I knew I was in trouble every time he would call me. He would tell me, you know, I knew I was in trouble. He would be like, "Nah, this is not good performance. This is not a good performance." Yeah.
So your father is your biggest critic?
He is my biggest critic. Yes, this is the best way to describe my father. He would always humble me. I would think everyone else would tell me, message me, "Oh, great game, Lorenzo." My father would call me, "Terrible game, Lorenzo, terrible game." You know, it's good to have a father like this. You know, he's always striving to push you to be better. But sometimes, you know, I just want to hear my father say, "Good game, son." But
And what about mom?
Oh, my mom is my number one supporter. Win or lose, or good or bad game, man, she's always supporting me. But my father, good game. I could score maybe 20 points one game. He would tell me, "Why don't you score 40 points?"
Yeah, when we talk about these great opponents from your first games in VNL, do you have one name, one guy that really kicks your ass? Like that was like your welcome to the top volleyball moment?
Man, yeah, there's a lot that kicked my ass that year. Just to name a few, I would say is Alan. I think his name's Alan. I'm not. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm pronouncing it wrong. I think he's playing in Belkotov now.
Alan Souza, from Brazil. Yeah.
Yes. This opposite, he humbled me well. He kicked my ass a lot, but also I would say, who else? I would say maybe Rok Mozic also kicked my ass in this. But you come against Poland, man, they always kicking our ass all the time. You know, for now, all of these guys, they're always doing it good. So, but yeah, those are a few names that I could remember off my memory. But there's also Bruno. Bruno, of course, one of the best. But yeah, it was good to be welcomed in this way into this high-level tournament.
You said you grew up watching Bartosz Kurek. So what you like in his game the most?
Well, I love his attack. I think everyone could say this. His attack is amazing. But I remember growing up as a young kid, I would put on YouTube and watch Bartosz Kurek, and he would do this famous meter ball where he would hit the ball and it would flip. As soon as I saw this, I wanted to be Bartosz Kurek. As soon as I saw this. But the one thing I'd idolize about his game is he has this passion in him that I see, you know, for his country, but also for his teammates that I see every time he's putting on that jersey for Poland, which is it's very how would you say, motivational for me as a player. But it also pushes me to be better as a person off the court and on the court. You know, he represents his country very, very well, and he's also played in PlusLiga for a very long time. Now he's taking his experience to Japan, and you know, this is the type of players you idolize and want to be like in the future, you know.
And I have to once again mention Luke Perry, because in interview he said about you that guys like Lorenzo Pope are born in Australia once every 20 years. he is like
man, don't listen to this guy, man.
like that. I mean, to be honest, he told about you so good words that he told you are like the chosen one of the Australian volleyball. I asked him about what about the future of Australian volleyball, like the young guys. He said when it comes to the young guys, you have Lorenzo Pope, and that's it.
Oh man, I love this guy. I appreciate it from Luke. It means a lot coming from Luke Perry because yes, he's also someone I've looked up to as a young boy. But yeah, I'm not the person to talk about myself like this. I don't want to be this guy. But yeah, I'm sure there's plenty more players coming through the system. But yeah, I think I thank God more, but that He gave me more of great teammates that helped me accomplish, something like playing here in PlusLiga, but also to be able to play at the highest level against great players in the world,
How this deal with Modena came out? It was because of your VNL performances, or this happened earlier?
No, yeah, this happened, and I think. Oh no, I remember it happened after our game against Bulgaria because we were playing in Bulgaria. It was one of the only games we won that that season, but yes, there was talks that I played against Alex Nikolov. At this time, he was his first year also, and obviously he's doing great things as well. But yeah, we were in Bulgaria, and there was a bit of chat coming through because I was a free agent at the time, so I was looking for something to do, but I was also comfortable. Like if the opportunity came, I would take it. So, but just to give you a little bit of info, there was also a Polish club that was interested at the time. I'm not sure if you heard about it, but so I had to choose between Poland.
Could you say the name of this club?
The club was at the time was Zaksa.
Zaksa Kędzierzyn-Koźle, like the Champions League winners.
They just finished this year. They won everything, and I said to myself, I was like, I'm a young guy. I don't have much to offer for a championship team like this. I wasn't very confident in myself, but I also knew that I needed a starting point. So I guess that was just a decision I made with the help of my family, but also my agent. But yeah.
But you didn't choose much worse club because Modena is one of the most legendary teams in the history of European volleyball, and you came to the team with Bruno Rezende, with Erwin Engapet, coached by Andrea Gianni. It's really hard to say that you came to like worst club. So you came to arguably one of the best league in the world. Many people say the Polish, many people say the Italian. But you're coming from Australian league, knowing the level of Australian league to Serie A. How was like? What was first impressions?
It was the same as my debut for Australia when we played against Brazil. Everything was much faster, very fast. But also the intensity of the trainings. Obviously, you have one of the best coaches in the world. People would say is Gianni. If people could, some players would agree that when you are training with Gianni, sometimes he will kick your ass in training also. So it's. You have a great working environment, but you also have players that, like Erwin Ingepeth, obviously, he does amazing things in volleyball. Like, these are people I looked up to also. Bruno, they welcomed me in very, very nicely, but they also reminded me, when there's a time to work. So the working environment was very, very, very difficult for me at first, to be honest with you. I was not familiar with this type of workplace or these type of trainings, but it was more of a how would you say, like a culture shift, but more of a level shift as well for coming from Australia. So that
was also my question in my mind, not only about like the going to the Serie A, but just living this lifestyle of Serie A volleyball player. You have like different training methods comparing to Australia, a different organized club because it's like fully professional. You have like big staff ready to help you. So and many people say that also the language barrier because not many people speak in Italy fluently English. So how long took you to fully adapt to the Serie A level?
It was a bit difficult at first. I would probably say maybe 1 month just to adapt, or maybe even more than a month, to be honest. Because obviously, yes, you have the language barrier, but also you have like guys like Bruno and Irvin. Like obviously they speak French also and Brazilian. They sort of helped me try to learn, slowly on the court. So I learned Italian volleyball language before Italian, the genuine language. So it sort of helped me a little bit, but it took me about a month to adapt to the lifestyle, but also because a club like Modena is a legendary club. They have very passionate friends. So sometimes they're speaking Italian to you, and all you got to do is smile and wave.
And how was like to play with Erwin and Gapet? How is he outside the court?
How is he outside the court?
Yeah,
he's the funniest guy. Yes, I think a lot of people have different, opinions on Erwin. But if you were to ask me personally, he was a great person to be around. And he was around with his family, his children also. But he also, he treated me like a little brother. He welcomed me. Had Christmas with him as well. He was a nice guy. But yes, there's another side to Irvin that people may talk about, but that's not for me to speak about. I don't have any experience with Irvin, that lifestyle, but it was an amazing experience to train with Irvin on the court also. But his work speaks for himself. He's back-to-back Olympian, winners. So off the court, he was genuinely nice. He was a nice guy, always welcoming.
Like 2 years ago, I spoke with Bruno, and after the interview, I came to conclusion that I was impressed by his life wisdom, life knowledge, and also his leader abilities. Because we were talking about the Brazilian national team. Of course, there was a time he was one of the best in the world. Now he's coming, to be honest, to his end of the career. But even despite his great accolades, his trophies, etc., I was impressed that he could be humble, and he know that if I'm not at the level of the first setter, I can still be good as a bench player coming from the bench. And how was to play with him? How he is as a leader?
There's no words to describe what type of person Bruno is on the court. He's one of the words he said today he's an amazing leader. He leads by his words, but also by his actions. You see, I think the best way to describe the type of person he is on the court. He's this type of how would you say, a soldier? Someone. When he gives you the words of encouragement before the game, it makes you you're ready for war, you're ready to go to fight for something that really matters to you. So yes, again, he is a very humble person, like you said. He's never one guy to shy away, or he's always welcoming, but he's always got a smile on his face also. But to describe the type of person he is, I think the best word to describe him would be he's an icon in my vocabulary, at least. To come from one of the best, like you said, he's slowly coming towards the end of his career. But it also takes a humble person like himself to understand his role in the team. Whether he's a starter or whether he's the captain, he can also lead from the bench and lead on the first six. So this is the type of person I also look up to. And I've spoken to Bruno; he knows this already.
You finished the season with Modena, with also with CEF Cup. But another thing that I was really curious when I was preparing myself was how it happened that guy that had the impressive VNL that came to Modena, one of the best teams, after just one season going back to Australia, the league that, to be honest, 99.5 people in the world doesn't follow.
It was a bit difficult. I think Modena was a very, how would you say? It was a big wake up call for me at a young age. I was coming from Australia, but I think even towards that season, I think you probably already know that I wasn't playing much of that season. Also,
yes.
I was always injured. A very big setback for me was my shoulder injury. But as soon as my shoulder was getting better, and then I done my MCL, my meniscus, so which led to me missing obviously pretty much the whole season. I think I only played maybe 2 games, I think, throughout the whole season. But obviously, like you said, I had a great impact in the world with my debut in Australia. But also it was if you watch back in Australia, my Australian debut, you see the tempo of the game. It changes, dramatically. Yeah. Coming from Australia to Italy or even Poland, the speed of the game is. I have to adapt to the team. They can't adapt to me. So if that makes sense, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I think understanding that was also giving me helping me realize that there's a big dramatic change within Australia and Europe,
And you wasn't worried that this step back can be break your career? That maybe you will have a second chance to play at the top level?
No, yeah, I think you said it also. I did have thoughts of that at a point. Obviously, man, you're sitting on the sideline for about 9 months. Sometimes you want to give up, But I was fortunate enough to have Modena. They helped me throughout the season. Gave me exercise, helped me with my rehab. It was a time for me that obviously I finished with Modena in 2022. 2023, and it was. I had to find my purpose again. Coming off the court, not being able to play, not getting any more offers after this injury. I really had to work hard again. I had to start again, obviously, with the speed of Australia again, coming back down and then going back up. But no, I did feel like at times I was like, oh man, maybe it's time to stop playing volleyball. Maybe I need to change my sport, or maybe I need to change my position. There were talks. I had some talks with a few coaches saying that maybe it's time you try a different position. And I thought to myself, what position can I play besides that? That's the position I love most. Yeah. And there were talks of me, maybe you could be a setter. You don't have to hit every ball. And I said, a setter, man, the rest is already here, man.
I suppose after playing 1 year with Bruno, trying to be a setter, knowing how he is as a setter, and I suppose when you're comparing your setting abilities to his setting abilities, slightly different level.
Yes. No, yeah, it was a very big it was a very big setback for me, having everything at an age where not much kids can say they got to witness, But so yes, it was very difficult, but also very humbling because I had guys like Bruno, also Johnny, Johnjo. The staff, they gave me some wise words and said, maybe you just need to take a break just to strengthen your body, adapt to the speed. But also, the one thing I can relate with Bruno the most is we have our faith, and we are very religious people. I had to keep my faith in God, and God did the rest.
You even have in your Instagram bio the quote from John 15.
Yes.
Yeah. So why this verse is so important for you?
this verse is it hits home for me because I think this is probably a different story, maybe something you don't want to speak about, but it hits heavy with me because at a young age, not much people, I wouldn't say I was bullied, but not much people from my background or people from my home believed that I could be something or I could achieve this goal that I had. The Bible verse is, if the world hates you, remember it hated Jesus first. So this is the verse that it sits with me. So at the time, the world didn't really support me. They didn't know who Lorenzo was at the time. At a young age, thinking, "Oh man, this guy is not going to do anything." And but yes, I had to prove myself to these people, but it gives me something to prove myself to me as a person. So this Bible verse, it really helps me, humble me as a person, but also to remember that, Jesus has walked these footsteps before me. So all I can do is give all the glory and all the praise to him.
How you spent this year after Modena?
I was in
Melbourne, yes.
Yes, I was in Melbourne, Australia, yes. I spent it at home and I went away from the world. That's what I did. So I took a break from social media. I took a break from, with just volleyball. I really had to find myself as a person, but also I had to go fix my body. I had to, coming to social media, I'm not focusing as much. People are talking like, where's Lorenzo? Why is he here? Where is he? Is he hiding? Or maybe he's retired early.
Yeah.
But I was in Melbourne, Australia, and I was training with my father because my father said, it's time to go back to the basics. You need to strengthen your body, but also strengthen my mindset. So I took a break from the world, but I also took a break from social media and socializing with people. I just needed a break, and obviously I reset it and spoke to my manager and my agent, and they said that an opportunity came here in PlusLiga. I wasn't familiar with the club, but I was fortunate enough to get the chance.
And could you say before we will talk about Barkom, could you say that this time changed you as a person? That since this season, since that time, you are quite different person?
Yes, I would say yes as a person, but more as an athlete. I think I would say. Just to be, because obviously in Australia there's no type of how would you say, support within, yes, they help us coming through the program, but they don't help us really understand or dive into the life of being an athlete in Europe, but especially in a league like this, PlusLiga, in the big leagues. So yeah, I think I would say it changed me, yeah. Just a little bit.
You said that you didn't know much about the Barkom, but what you knew about Poland, PlusLiga before you signed the contract? Because as you said before, you had the offer from Zaksa.
Yes. Yes. Barkom, I heard about, Zaksa was the first, one of the very first clubs I've ever heard about in, that's probably a lie. Maybe Ishimbi, I heard about Ishimbi also. But I heard about these great clubs, and there's a lot of great clubs here in PlusLiga. But also seeing the amount of athletes, coming within foreigners, from America, everywhere. As soon as I heard PlusLiga, I knew straight away I wanted to come here. So hearing that this offer from Zaksa at a young age, I wasn't very familiar with what Poland looked like. If you sort of, it's not very you see Italy, you think pasta straight away. I think Poland, I say, what do I know from Poland? But it's no disrespect to the country, please, guys.
Yeah.
But I'm just not familiar with it. And obviously I was familiar with the club of Zaksa. They had an amazing, I think they were winners of this season, 2022 and 2023 Champions League, I think it was also. And there was great players, and obviously I probably missed a chance to play with Kurek at this season also, because I think he left to Japan at this season.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of players, but moving on to taking a break and hearing that Barkom was a team in PlusLiga, because obviously I understand that they are a Ukrainian team that was given an opportunity to come play in Poland. I don't know if I'm right or correct.
Yes. I mean, it's like they are Ukrainian team, but they play in Polish league. But for sure, like comparing to like other teams, we can say that this team is a little bit different, because the most of the people in the staff or around the club are Ukrainian. The players are Ukrainian, but when it comes to the league, they are treated like the domestic players. And of course, one thing that also many people mention is that Barkom is relocating, changes their cities every year. Because 2 years ago, I had in my podcast Musegeje, who now came back to the team. I was in Wieluń, like small city in the middle of Poland. They switched to the Tarnów when you were yes, and now to Elbląg. So did you speak with anybody from Australia about playing in Poland?
About playing in Poland or in Barkom?
In Poland.
In Poland.
I don't think if anybody from Australia played for Barkom.
No, yes, a lot of, now that I am playing, because they are familiar with PlusLiga, obviously, Luke Perry has played here also, many years. But I think there's quite a few of an audience now that that are tuning into PlusLiga, because obviously now PlusLiga has signed with this volleyball TV, so now they can so now there will be more of an audience. Obviously they will be supporting me, but also other their favorite athletes that that are playing the PlusLiga. But I would say that it's slowly coming to Australia. It's obviously there's a lot of people that support the PlusLiga, but they just couldn't watch it before in the previous years. So but my family are always watching. They watch our games, but then they go watch the other guys. You can only support one team, but they're trying to support all the teams.
And what was the biggest challenge when it comes to the PlusLiga level? Could you say that after your time in Serie A, it was easier to adapt to the Polish league level? Well,
to be honest, I would say it's so hard, because people have discussions about which league is better,
Yes.
And if I choose which league is better, someone will shoot me.
Yes.
But I would say it's very similar. The game style, yes, it's very fast, but I would say people will call me biased, but maybe I would lean it towards PlusLiga's style is a bit it's a bit faster than because obviously you see in the Champions League, I think it was the season before, there was Jastrzębia, Zawiercie, Warsaw. Correct me, I don't know if I'm saying it.
But they've got beaten in quarterfinals.
The quarterfinals
by Halbank.
But you see, there's these strong teams like this that are developing, and just they are demolishing, all these teams around Europe. Or somebody might not like me saying that, but.
I remember when I spoke with Luciano Paloński, who played also for Barkom. He said that interesting quote that Polish league have better teams, but Serie A have better players.
I think that is the best way to describe it. I think that I would maybe then with Folulo, but now I would say also this is what Lula said is sort of I agree with and sort of done, because then the league here is so, how do you say, it's very monitored well, everything, through the bottom teams to the top teams, they are all they are all good teams. But if you look at Italy, you always have the same best teams every time. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
so
Trento, Perugia, Lube.
Exactly. It's always the same routine with these Italian teams, but obviously it's good for the clubs because they are strong, but in PlusLiga it's always you never know what could happen,
And what about the cultural aspect of living in Poland? What was the biggest challenge for you?
I think the biggest challenge for me was the snow. I've never seen snow ever in my life. Never seen snow. My first time in the snow, man, I was playing snowball fighting, with the guys outside. It was my first time, but no, yes, I had to adapt a lot more to the food, I guess, because it's something new for me also. But I do love the zurek. The zurek is amazing, man. But I need to watch out, got to check my weight sometimes.
Yeah, my Polish mind cannot comprehend the fact that somebody couldn't know the snow, but knowing that you are from Australia, so yeah. I understand you. Yeah.
No, it was great. It was my first time, but my first day I enjoyed it, the snow. The rest of the time, it was difficult for me. It was too cold,
Yeah, I remember one time I spoke with Matias Sanchez, who played in Suwałki. He said that sometimes on Sundays he spoke on FaceTime with his family in Argentina. They were grilling, doing barbecue outside, and he was sitting at home, 5 p.m., dark.
It was the same for me also, because obviously we have the time change in Australia. My family would call me, and sometimes they were at the beach. And then they would ask me, what are you doing? And I would show them, look at my view, it's the snow. So, yeah.
And tell me about this last season when it comes to the sports side, because for sure it was tough for Barkom. You were fighting till the very end of the season to secure the spot in the PlusLiga. So what was the reason that you have so much problems, and how you remember this amazing fight to avoid the relegation?
Oh yeah, man! There were a lot of challenges last season we faced as a team, but also as a club. I think if I was to cherry pick what was happening last season, yes, we were playing, but also at the same time we were learning to adapt. What are our strengths within trainings, but also discovering our weaknesses during games. Obviously it's normal. Sometimes you make mistakes, sometimes we didn't, but it was quite weird for us because the way we would look at games, we would sometimes beat the top teams, but as soon as we were playing the bottom team, we were getting,
Yeah, exactly. I have to say, sorry that I'm interrupting you, right. But I remember I was so, not also me, but many other people surprised. Yeah. Okay, Barkom is a team that can fight with Zaksa or other top teams, but somehow they can lose to the teams that also are below. Then I almost got relegated. So for me, it was about the mental aspect or what?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if the team, approached the top teams a bit different, or I don't know if we underestimated. I don't know what it was, but it seemed like every time we were playing, for example, we played Yashembia, that also we won against Zeshov. I think that's how you say it, yes. We played against those guys, and I couldn't believe it. I was thinking to myself, I was like, how can we go to 5 sets with teams like this and lose 3-0 against the other teams? I don't know what it was, or maybe someone put some voodoo spell on us or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy, but we got there in the end, and obviously we faced a great team. A great club also, Nisa. It was a good fight, but at the end of the day, it was who wanted it more.
Yeah, it was crazy for me that you play full season just and that one game was so crucial that was either you or Nysa stay in PlusLiga, and I'm not sure, but I think Nysa needed 2 sets or
Yes, so they needed 2 sets and we needed
they were in better position than you before the game. So I suppose there was a lot of pressure, tension before that game.
To be honest, there was, for us at least, yes, there was. We knew what we had to do to stay in. But also, we rolling into the week, obviously, the final game, we were training like it was like not the last game for us, you know, like I think everybody was confident in what we could do, but what really helped us for us was, you know, we were playing at our home in Toronto, so yeah. So it helped a lot for us, you know. But I could say yes, we put in the hard work, obviously, yes, but not much of us in the locker room or this coaching staff, you know, were pushing us to be like, okay, guys, you know, this is the last game. No one was talking like that, you know. Everybody was saying, you know, we get in there, we do our job, we give our best. We leave it on the court. We leave nothing, you know, no stones unturned. And fortunately enough, we won.
So I suppose you felt big relief after the last ball.
We were talking about this. After the last ball, we thought we won the final. You know, we thought, you know, we thought, man, we won the championship. You know, but it was a good moment for us. You know, but at the same time, obviously, it's not the position we want to finish. But
yeah,
you know, it's good to finish the season on a good note, on a high. But unfortunately, you know, it was sad because, you know, a team like Staunisa that's been in PlusLiga, you know, for a lot of years also, but you know, we didn't want to be the bad guys, but we had to look like the bad guys.
But how much this team changed comparing the last season and this season? Okay, we don't have a new season yet, but a lot of change in Barkom, especially like the location of the club. But some new guys came. So, what are the biggest difference between the two Barkoms?
Oh, yes, one obviously is the city, yes, but now in preparation for the games and everything we have now, the team, I would say the big change from last season and this season is the team coming together, I guess. I would say we are forming this, yes, you could call it a family, but more of a brotherhood if you understand what I'm trying to say. Because now we have a very, you know, some people will call him one of the best in PlusLiga, Lucas Kampa, who's come to Barkom, you know, and he's helped a lot alongside the experienced guys in Barkom, but he's helped gel us together as a team, but also to be, you know, like, yes, we're a team on the court, but we're also brothers off it. I think that's the best way to put it. And, well, what would be another change, I would say? Oh, probably the intensity, you know, the intensity that Lucas brings in trainings. He kicks your ass. He kicks everyone's ass in trainings, but yes, he kicks your ass, but it's for the good, you know. He's not like a bad guy on the court or anything.
So could you say he also have like this leader vibe like Bruno?
Yes, 100%. Yes, he has this leader vibe, but he also, you know, he has a lot of knowledge with the sport. You know, he's played in the best teams, but also played in, you know, in important matches. You know, he knows how to win, but he also knows, you know, what we can do better as a team to win. But yeah, I would say there's a lot of changes. I'm a lot more confident in the team we have this season, to be honest, and we are working hard day in and day out, and we're looking forward to playing against the best teams, you know.
So what are your goals for this season? I mean the club and your like individual.
I think individually for me, like, you know, I want to be able to give you that impact I gave you. You know, the first time I stepped on the court against, you know, the best players. I want to be able to give, like, I want to show Poland and the world and what I can do, you know. Like, yes, they got a little bit of me last season, but it wasn't me at my best, I would say. But there's always room to improve, and yeah, I'm a lot more confident this season, you know, being introduced last season, but also that's just a personal goal for me to play. And hopefully, you know, the goal is to win every day or every game we can possibly win. And I think a goal for the team would, you know, to be able to make the playoffs at least. You know, we want to avoid getting relegated, but, you know, we have a team this season that is preparing, you know, that is preparing to be and ready to fight to win this season.
And
So,
how close you are to Lorenzo Pope VNL 2022 form?
well, like in my like now, you say
Yes.
now.
Yes.
I would say I'm probably better than 2022. No, I don't know. I guess I can tell you, but it's better to show you. You know, when I'm on the court, and hopefully, God is on my side, and everything will show on the court. So yeah.
And do you think about the future of Australian national team? Because maybe it could be tough to qualify for LA 2028, but later you have like Olympics in Brisbane, so you already have a spot.
Yeah, hopefully the body is ready to go by then. But yeah, the future for Australia is I'm looking forward to it, because we have a chance to go to the Olympics in Los Angeles, but we have the qualifiers for Asian World Championships. So the winner of that will go to the Olympics. Hopefully we will be preparing and stuff like that. Luke Perry will be coming back this season, hopefully, and Arash, because last season we didn't have much of the older guys, so they took a break. Some people, Arash got engaged. I don't know if you probably watched this, but congratulations. But it's the future for Australia is looking bright. There's a lot of young guys that are playing overseas in Europe, but we are hungry. We are hungry to go to the Olympics. It's been a long time since Australia has gone to the Olympics. I think the last time was maybe 2012. I think.
Yes.
And yeah, so it's good that we have a pathway. In Brisbane, 2032. Oh, it's a long time. How old will I be? Maybe 31, I think.
Yes. And do you see, because you talked about young guys, do you have like young guys? Could you name some young guys that can be leading stars of the Australian team in the future?
Maybe I'll leave that one with. I'm joking. There's a lot of players coming up, man. A few in college. I would name one, William Darcy. He's currently in UC Irvine. So obviously he played against Simeon Nikolov and those guys in college. But who else could I name off the top? A guy named Sam Flowerday. He's currently in Australia. He just finished, I think, his college season in Canada. I think that was it. But yeah, there's a few guys to name as well. But yeah, I think I would leave the rest to Luke Perry. He's the captain. He's lots better. I don't want to be the guy to break the team.
And we talk, coming to the end, because we talk almost all podcast about your volleyball career. But how is Lorenzo Pope outside the volleyball? What are you a guy that's following volleyball 24 hours a day, or do you have hobby not related to this volleyball?
No, yeah. For me, I'm trying to, I'm strong in my faith also. I'm trying my best to get back into church, but it's a bit difficult, with PlusLiga. Sometimes we play on Sundays or Saturdays, so sometimes we're away. But yeah, I also like to watch rugby. I'm a big rugby guy. Unfortunately, my team lost in the grand final. Damn it! But it wasn't a good week for me that week. But no, it was good. But I also, I love being around my family. The people my friends also, just spending good time. But I love exploring. cities like Elbląg. Correct me if I'm saying it right. Am I saying it right? Elbląg?
Yes, very good. I was surprised because you sounded like Polish guy.
No, yeah, I like exploring. It's always nice to come to new cities to see what it's like. The cultural differences, but also trying new food. But yeah, I guess you could say I'm an easy guy outside of volleyball. I like to go out, spend time with family and friends. But if you were to ask the real Lorenzo, man, he's just a family church guy outside of volleyball.
And do you have many friends outside the volleyball world? Because you spend so much time in volleyball. This is your also job. You spend so much time outside your country. So do you still have so many friends that, okay, maybe not even, that they don't even follow volleyball?
No, yeah. If I could name every single one of them, I would. But you know, there's a lot. I have a lot of friends back home in Melbourne. You know, but it's just so hard to catch up with them. Obviously, national team, and then I'm always away. But yeah, no, I have a lot of friends that I always catch up when I can. Back home, but yeah, they are just as crazy as my family, man. They're number one supporters also. You know, they love supporting and they love watching a bit of volleyball here and there, but they're not volleyball guys. They're more the big rugby guys.
So we can say that you have a lot of supporters around you and only one critic, your father.
I could say that, to be honest with you. Yeah, there's a lot of support that comes from home because obviously I'm from Melbourne, Australia, and my family's from Samoa. My grandmother, man, they're all there. But also, you know, family in New Zealand also. So yeah, it's good, but there's only one guy I have to impress, you know, not the other people, you know. I've got to impress the one guy that's sitting at home watching my games, you know.
And a part of staying healthy, what I can wish to you?
Oh, you could wish me to win the PlusLiga, man. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. What would you wish for me?
Everything you want, man. Like, yeah, stay healthy. Good luck to you, to your team. Yeah, all the best to you, to your family. And you know, big thanks, Lorenzo, for joining my podcast. It was a great pleasure to host you, to listen your stories, and you know, I wish you to keep to be so happy as you are today.
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say also, just to say thank you as well. Thank you for taking your time, and I apologize also if I've been a bit difficult, but yeah, man, I wish you all the best, and I hope all the other interviews that, you know, you get to have more fun and hear more stories.